fragrance fans, I'm here with my little collection, it is only a little collection, of Tom Ford private blends. Just want to share with you what I love from the range, and it probably is quite different to what a lot of fragrance reviewers would say are their favourite Tom Ford private blends, because I'm a woman. But that's not to say all women have the same kind of taste as me, but generally I guess most fragrance reviewers out there are men, and there are just a few female reviewers. I have seen mention some of the other private blends that are available that aren't too dark and too heavy, because the boys do like it beast mode, don't they? You boys, you love it beast mode. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I just don't need it beast mode. In fact, lately, I like it a little bit lighter. So, let's start. I'm not going to put them in any order until we get to the very end. So, I'm going to talk about these two little buggers here. I've only got these 4ml official samples that are from the Tom Ford counters, given to me in Phoenix in Tunbridge Wells. So we've got Vert de Bois and Vert d'Encens. Apparently there's a new Vert, or I've seen a new Vert on a counter, but I didn't get around to smelling it. I think it's called Vert de Fleur or Fleur de Vert, I can't remember, but basically it's a floral one. That's probably the one that I need to try the most. But Vert d'Encens and Vert de Bois are quite nice for green fragrances. I am not a massive green fan. If it's too green, then I generally don't get on with it. I enjoy smelling it, but don't necessarily want to wear it. So anyway, on here, I got a little bit of Vert d'Encens. Let it dry down, so you know it's had sort of 10-15 minutes. I've tested them a few times. They are both excellent in terms of the longevity on your skin. The projection is good, average. I wouldn't want it more, maybe you would if you're that beast mode mofo, but for me the performance and quality of these two are excellent. My favourite out of those two was Vert d'Encens, but I've changed my mind. Vert d'Encens has like almost like a Play-Doh note running through with the greenness and the woodiness and only a tiny touch of smoke, but so that's why I thought I really liked it, because I like a bit of Play-Doh in my fragrances. However, Vert de Bois, I'm actually picking out some floral in there, which is giving it a nice lift, giving it a little bit of sweetness. It's really quite nice. I might wear that tomorrow, in fact. So I'm glad you have made me revisit that one. So anyway, that's Vert de Bois and Vert d'Encens. Sometimes if you're lucky at the Tom Ford counters for private blends, they will dispense you some of this, but I think they're kind of getting a bit hard. The last time I tried, they actually refused. So, but always worth a go. Anyway, moving swiftly on, next one up. This is really, really special, and I shall tell you for why. This is not my bottle. Well, it is technically right now. Tomorrow it won't be, and there's a really, really excellent reason for that. I was asked by a very good friend of mine to help pick her wedding fragrance, and I'd already decided long before she asked me that I was going to help her pick her wedding fragrance, and that I was going to gift her a bottle of whatever she chose. Fingers crossed. I was hoping she didn't pick anything too expensive, but it could have been worse. But she picked, after testing so many samples, she absolutely loved Cafe Rose. And who can blame her? For her wedding day, we decided that rose, she really enjoyed rose in a fragrance. She felt that's quite a romantic smell. But at the same time, she's not one of these girly girlies who would, you know, be happy with something light and fluffy and gourmand, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, she absolutely loved Cafe Rose. She had a decant. We made sure that she wore it several times to make sure that she loved it. Her other half loves it, and therefore I managed to get her this bottle. I couldn't afford to get her a full brand new bottle, but she's got a good amount, or I don't think you can actually see it. She's got, oh God, I can't even bloody see it. Anyway, I reckon last time I checked, it's about there-ish, so not bad. Anyway, how did it smell? that is a bloody good question. Shall we steal a squirt? Let's do it. Let's do steal a squirt. I've had a couple of decants of this, so I do know it quite well. It's a beautiful dark rose. It's almost a bit fruity as well, and the projection is really good. The longevity is excellent. It's a little bit sweet, but it's not really that sweet. It seems to be backed up with some nice woods. I can't remember the notes, but it's basically almost a masculine rose. If you like Stella Rose Absolute, which was a favourite of mine for many years, it's in that general area, but oh, it's really, really good. Perfect, because my friend Leanne is getting married in this month, so in a couple of weeks. So it's cold, you know, it's going to be cold. What a great cold weather fragrance, Cafe Rose, and what a beautiful bottle and a beautiful label. So anyway, I'm really pleased to be giving that to her. I'm giving it to her tomorrow. So I had to do this video quick to get that one in. Moving swiftly on. Right, now these are in order. So in third place, let's call it third place, I am going for, it's called, where's the little thing, there it is. So I had one of those little samples and managed to scrounge that from a different counter, and it's Venetian Bergamot. I'm not quite sure if you can see that. It's Venetian Bergamot. I was running really low, and then I've managed to get hold of a decant from a friend on a fragrance group. So I bought myself a little decant that should keep me going for a little while. What do I love about Venetian Bergamot? Okay, so let's do it here. Ooh, oh, it's cool. Starts out super fresh with an icy blast of bergamot. Super fresh, like there's crushed ice in there, and it zings off your skin. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, that doesn't really last too long. Then what happens is it gets kind of gets quite floral, and it's quite sweet. I can smell like a punchy orange as well, but it does get quite sweet floral. It stays fairly fresh. I think there's a touch of powder, but there's a little touch of something green. The longevity is really good for quite a light fragrance. I touched my wrist with some last night before bed, and when I woke up today I could still smell it. So it's in terms of performance and quality and longevity, excellent stuff. Probably suitable for most people in the warmer weather. I don't give a flying fuck about that shit. If I want to wear something floral or fresh or summery in Arctic conditions, then I will, and I reckon most of you probably do too. We wear what we want, don't we? Yes, we do. So I love Venetian Bergamot. It's sweet, it's sort of fruity, but not, if that makes any sense. The only fruits, I guess, are kind of like citrusy, but it's just beautiful. It's really beautiful. I get sort of white florals from it, but not really strong, just slightly. Anyway, I've got to move on because I'm trying to keep it shorter. So, in second place, I've got through two 10ml decants, and I managed to scrounge this little 4ml from another counter at Tom Ford, Soleil Blanc. I love this. I absolutely love Soleil Blanc. Another one that you would think should be summer only, but trust me, it works all conditions. In fact, when I tested it in the summer, I was disappointed. I didn't think the performance was very good. When I tested it in like more autumn or fall, as you might call it, it was so much better. I wore this to a Christmas party just a week or two ago, and I was projecting. It was brilliant. It lasted all night. In fact, the next day I could still smell it, along with the stench of vodka pouring off my skin. But no, the Soleil Blanc still competed with my alcohol problem, and they came out about 50-50. So anyway, what is Soleil Blanc? Soleil Blanc is fresh, white florals, there's a little bit of coconut, but there's something in there that balances all of that and stops it being too sweet or cloying. So there's a lot of beachy fragrances. This is definitely a beachy fragrance, but I feel like there's some resins or some maybe some ambergris type thing, not exactly ambroxan like you get in Sauvage, but some kind of amber-y type thing, very lightly, balancing all the lovely florals and I say all the lovely florals, there's definitely white florals. I don't smell any other kind of florals like rose or anything like that. Coconut, and then maybe just the tiniest touch of sea air, but not too much, because generally too much sea air in a fragrance doesn't work for me. But that one is really good, and I have a little bit of a dupe for that one. There are a lot of fragrances in that ballpark. I think the closest one that I found, it's not going to show you too much because I've got it in one of these, but let's find a spot. There we go. This one is Acqua di Gia Sun. So, oh no, it's called Sun di Gia from, is it Armani? I think it's Armani, isn't it? Acqua, you know, the Acqua di Gio people. It's called Sun di Gio, and the opening is a lot sweeter and maybe a bit brighter and sharper than Soleil Blanc. I don't feel that the resins are there or there's too much to tone it down, but on the far dry down, the difference between the two is not really that noticeable. I still get coconuts in there, I still get white florals. This one just does remain sweeter throughout, and it remains higher pitched throughout. But if you love Soleil Blanc but you don't love dropping £150 on a little bottle, then Sun di Gia is a much cheaper alternative, and the performance is actually pretty close. Like I wore one on each wrist today, and they were really similar 9 hours later when I got in. So, you know, worth thinking about. So moving swiftly on, now we're on to my absolute favourite Tom Ford private blends ever, and there's two, but they're in joint first position. So let's start off with the original Neroli Portofino. This is its lovely box. This is 50ml. The bottle literally makes me want to, oh, I'm not going to say it, that's rude. The bottle makes me very excited. I love it so much. I love the colour. It looks stunning on my dressing table, and I love the smell. In fact, I'm going for it right there. I love the smell. It's so bright and fresh and happy making straight away, but when it dries down you get a beautiful sort of woody musk thing that comes through. The performance for me is not bad. Yes, it's not as good as most of my fragrances, but it's not as bad as some people say. I get more than 4 hours out of it. I get long enough during the day, but usually I would probably 4 to 5 hours in, I probably would respray or spray something else because it isn't that strong. Anyway, in joint first place is the Aqua version. Love this one so much that I got a backup massive bottle. Found a bargain on eBay just after Christmas. Got this 100ml brand new bottle, and I paid about £75 for it. Got the box, it was all sealed, all looks legit to me, and I love, yeah, Aqua. I don't get a massive difference. Spray, I don't know, can't spray there. I've run out of space. Can't spray, maybe I'll spray my eyeball. No, I'm not going to. Aqua, I just call it Aqua. It's like it's, you know, I don't bother saying Neroli Portofino Aqua. I just say Aqua. It's like it's, you know, it's my child or something. Aqua. Aqua, I don't get a massive difference between Aqua and Neroli Portofino. The opening of Aqua is perhaps a little more florally, a touch powdery, maybe softer, not quite so bright. As it dries down, it gets to become almost exactly the same as Neroli Portofino to my nose. So, you know, my argument is why buy Neroli Portofino when it's at that price, when the Neroli Portofino Aqua is quite a bit cheaper, especially online on eBay and stuff. For some reason, there's quite a lot of them at quite good prices. Obviously, you have to be careful not to get a fake, but you know, you're generally protected by eBay if you do end up with a fake. So I took a risk, and I'm pretty confident that my one is good. If you're wondering why I've got both, or wondering why I've got 3 bottles of Neroli Portofino or the Aquas, first one I ever had was bought for me by someone very special, and I love it and I cherish this bottle. and I tend to use the Aqua more just because I know it's a lot cheaper. But I do every now and then just spray myself a little bit with the Neroli Portofino too. I just love Neroli Portofino. Sorry for that. I know it gets a bit of hate for the performance and stuff, but you know, it is my #1 Tom Ford private blend. So I'm off now. Thank you for putting up with me, and I will be back to bother you sometime soon.